What a week it's been in Foxborough. The first few days of the 2021 NFL League year have been dominated by the New England Patriots, who continue to make big news on a daily basis. I'm Erik Scalavino from Patriots.com, alongside my colleague, Mike Dussault. Deuce, Patriots started this week with perhaps the biggest surprise of free agency, adding the top two tight ends out there. And as the week winds down, we think, they've scored yet another upset by retaining starting center and co-captain David Andrews, according to media reports. 4-year deal. What a significant signing this is to maintain that big guy in the middle of that O-line.
Yeah, it's such a great one. I mean, a 4-time captain, is reportedly coming back on a 4-year deal as well. So a long-term deal. You know, you thought earlier this week when Ted Karras came back from Miami that maybe that ruled Andrews' return out, and a lot of people were saying goodbye, Julian Edelman, goodbyes on Twitter, and then all of a sudden last on Thursday night, the report comes through that they've re-signed Andrews. So it's a great move, a team leader, a beloved kind of guy, and I think it's really, I don't know if it's the final move of the week, but it's a nice cherry on top.
It sure is, and I think it helps with, Karras being on that 1-year deal. I think he's in the right position now, that sort of swing backup interior offensive lineman. You've got your longtime stalwart there and Andrews in the middle. And you've got Karras to sort of back things up and either swing to either guard or center, wherever he needs to be. I think it's a great move to keep Andrews around, especially when you've traded away Marcus Cannon and you're making moves, getting Trent Brown back. It's major news on that offensive line. So elsewhere, my favorite position to talk about, Deuce, kicker. Patriots aren't waiting around like they did last year. They're getting Nick Folk back, reportedly on a 1-year deal. That makes now 3 by my count, 3 kickers on the 90-man roster. I don't think that's going to last into the summer, maybe even later this spring. They're going to have to make a decision on that, don't you think? Yeah,
sorry, Scal. I don't think they got room for 4 kickers if you're trying to sneak in there. But yeah, I mean, Nick Folk was great last year. I don't think anyone was really expecting him to, be as consistent as he was. I mean, I think he only missed 2 field goals all year long. Yeah. AFC Special Teams Player of the Week twice with, 2 walk-off game winners. So, I think they're fostering competition, and I think we're seeing a lot of that across the roster. As you said, we'll see what happens. Justin Rohrwasser, Roberto Aguayo, 2 other guys already on the roster. 3 seems a little heavy to take into camp, so keep your eyes out for sure. But, hey, you got to be happy to have Nick Folk back. He was real consistent last year.
All right. Meanwhile, earlier in the week, we saw the Patriots and Dolphins trying to one-up each other with signing each other's players. Now it looks like the Texans and Patriots are doing the swapping and trading. Ryan Izzo gets traded, and Donte Moncrief signs as a free agent, joining Marcus Cannon, as we mentioned, was traded there, and Terrence Brooks, the safety, signing as a free agent. Handwriting was probably on the wall for Izzo and Moncrief with the big signings at tight end and wide receiver that New England had this week, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, no surprise. Nick Caserio has a beat on the Patriots roster and knows exactly, where they have a little bit of extra. And I think Cannon, was the first part of that. And now Izzo with the 2 free agent signings, the 2 draft picks last year, not to mention Matt Lacoste. I mean, you had 6 guys, at tight end, way too many. Izzo was solid last year. I think he played the most snaps of anybody. So Houston gets a little bit of depth there at tight end.
One final note. The Patriots again beefing up their D-line by signing former Green Bay Packer Montravius Adams, again on a 1-year pact, according to media reports. I'm sure you're thrilled about that as our resident front 7 enthusiast.
Indeed. Well, I mean, he didn't do much in 4 years. He's kind of a spot player and an interior player, but, coming out, I think he had some versatility. And I think the big question with him is, can he 2-gap? Can he hold his ground? I think that's a big thing that the Patriots asked their interior defensive linemen to do. He has the size coming out. He had the versatility, the intelligence, those kind of things. Hasn't quite clicked for him yet. 1-year deal. He'll compete. I mean, they've done a lot of work addressing the front 7. He's a piece of that. Maybe not one of the big ones like Davin Godchow was, or, even Henry Anderson and obviously Matt Judon on the edge, but they've certainly stacked that position. There's going to be some good competition there this summer.
Well, what a week it's been. There's plenty more coverage of all the Patriots free agent moves over on Patriots.com, including exclusive interviews with the new faces, as well as some of the old familiar ones. So check that out if you want some more.
When you walk through the door and Billy B gives you that smile and, give him that fist pump and keep it moving, is back in business. And then I see my guy Ernie, mess with him for a little bit. It's good. I'm glad to be back, but a lot of work to do.
And we'll continue to keep you informed whenever news warrants right here on YouTube. For Mike Dussault, I'm Erik Scalavino. Thanks for joining us.